I posted this tweet where I talked about a random money market fund's return in Turkey compared to a portfolio of my Turkish holdings. 5 stocks, each at 20%. Now, for context, Turkey is offering very high interest rates to combat inflation in the last year, and these money market funds had amazing returns. In Turkish lira base, they have returned almost 60% in the last year, and lira only lost like 20% of its value against dollar at that time period. So the returns from these money market funds have been truly amazing in dollar terms as well, around 33% over the last year. If I thought that was sustainable, I would put all I have in these funds, but realistically, this is not a sustainable return structure, at least in dollar terms. However, even when the interest rates were this high, which are like gravity to stocks according to Warren Buffett, the equal weighted portfolio of Reysaş GEO, Anadolu Efes, Hava Airports, and Coca-Cola İçecek returned 82.5% in Turkish lira terms and over 50% in dollar terms. And again, this has happened when the interest rates were at historic levels. The reason for that is simple. I believe that all of these companies are great compounders with conservative balance sheets, and they are trading at incredibly cheap valuations due to them being in Turkey. However, other than Reysaş, the other 3 holdings don't even earn the majority of their revenues in Turkey. They are global brands. So, going back to the graph, as you can see, Coca-Cola İçecek, also known as CCI, has had a great year until July, where the stock price rose from $1.34 to $2.44, an 82% rise in dollar terms in 8 months. But since then, a couple not so great earnings results has caused the stock price to fall back where it was in November 2023, even a little lower. So, if you had watched the stock rise for that 8 months, wishing you had invested earlier, this may be your chance. And that is exactly what I did. I bought back into CCI this month at around $1.45 cost. CCI now represents around 3.3% of my portfolio. Now, the reason for that is I have not seen anything fundamentally wrong with those earnings reports. In fact, there were many optimistic signs there as well. At the moment, CCI's 2 biggest markets are Turkey and Pakistan, which both are having very challenging year in terms of their economies. So, of course, due to that reason, is having a weak volume year. Now, when I say that the stock is down 45% from its highs in dollar terms and the volumes are down, you would probably expect a similar amount of volume decrease, right? But the reality is that the second quarter's volume is down only 0.7% year over year and third quarter's down 9.2%, while the first 9 months combined is down 4.1%. And here is my graph where I track CCI's volumes over a longer time period. Now, looking at the valuation, it gets a bit tricky due to Turkish companies using a method called inflation accounting. So, with inflation accounting figures, their PE ratio at the moment is around 4.8, but without the inflation accounting implemented, their numbers is still at only 12. And as a reminder, CCI is the world's 3rd biggest Coca-Cola bottler, and the countries they operate in are all developing countries where the consumption of the non-alcoholic ready-to-drink products are much behind world averages, so the room for growth is incredibly big for CCI. A similar company, Varun Beverages, which is the Pepsi bottler of India, is trading at 75 PE ratio at the moment, and while it would be speculative to say that there is a great chance for CCI to add India or at least parts of India in its portfolio in the future, when we look at it, India's Coca-Cola bottling business is still up for grabs. And CCI is operating in not only Pakistan but also in Bangladesh as well. And also, as I said earlier, the countries in their portfolio are very similar to India. Overall, as I said, I don't see any fundamental problems with CCI. I remain very bullish. I believe that this is a great time to be greedy when others are fearful, and I have acted accordingly. I have also released a 40-page deep dive about CCI on my Patreon, and I constantly keep covering the business, and you can gain access to everything if you subscribe now. But if you just want to try it out, you can now separately buy CCI's deep dive as well. The link is in the description. I highly recommend you to check it out. And that's it for today's video. I hope you liked it. If you did, do me a favor and do YouTube things below, and I'll see you in the next one.